Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Dice Dropping Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game, Chronicles of House Weirlight. Hello, House Weirlight.
Hello, narrator.
Hello, and as we can see, our lovely steward, Clarissa, is back from her, medieval maternity leave, essentially.
We're progressive. Yeah, we have maternity leave, sure.
I've got a lot of liberties with the Weirlights.
It's true.
We have the closest thing to women's rights in the whole of Westeros
And
so far.
it's very true,
We really
actually.
Outside of Dorne.
We almost have a better version than Dorne does in some ways.
Yeah, women are allowed to own land, and that's kind of the farthest that goes.
They don't have a voice, really.
Yeah, but so we're gonna go on that. But yes, very close, very very close. But I'm so glad to see everyone back. Unfortunately, our lovely knight Sir Namora cannot join us this evening. We think fondly of her, but it will be okay, as we are just kind of going to jump directly into this as we kind of zoom in on an area we've only seen sort of briefly, but the clatter and the clamor is palpable. We hear metal clanking and the thundering of hooves and feet marching as we see a large open plain with brush kind of everywhere and some small trees. Think very like Grecian plains, and the size of a ruined hall, flying the sort of the banner of Flint's company, which is essentially it's not super subtle. It's a dragon skull on fire. It's on the side. It's like a side-facing skull that looks sort of like a dragon that is on fire. It is very roughly painted on like a basic like burlap banner, essentially. But in the field where we see all of these people marching, we see the banners of House Weirlight and of course House Asterwood. We see the purple with the red light flowing, and then of course the tree with the shield. The banners like flowing in the air, and there's lots of clamoring and fist pounding, and as war battle is essentially about to begin. Tidric, your siege tower, your two siege towers are fully ready to go. You have your siege weaponry, your battering rams all set up thanks to the very strong wood of the Merlin wood and from Crakehall that your wife secured for you. Your commanders are ready, essentially, for war. You see, leading the protection of the battering ram, Lord Asterwood's younger brother, who is still some 20 years your senior, with his large warhammer ready to go. Lord Asterwood himself sort of staying back, ready to relay orders. You see your trusted new great knight, Sir Birchsong, head of the cavalry, and of course your master at arms, the man leading the full the main invasion, Sir Cedric Asterwood. Your commanders are all ready. They know the plan. So as I know it, you will be mounting a siege tower to lead the invasion yourself. However, before you mount up, you must give the command to attack from astride your great steed. We see you in full battle regalia, the great flowing tabards of House Weirlight, which normal knights would wear on their chest. Due to the many designs of your plate armor, you do not wear on your chest. You wear around your waist 4 different tabards streaming on either side as this sort of like tabard-like battle skirt. You're really kind of giving you a almost inhuman quality as you move through the battlefield. Do you give the everyone's ready? Lord Asterward in his full armor, helmet up, his white hair flowing out from his helmet, kind of looks at you and goes, you only need to give the command.
We will win this day! Go!
Okay, absolutely. Please, Tedric, if you could be so kind to give me a warfare roll. Do you have any specialties in warfare?
Let me find out. I do not.
Okay. So, why don't you give me that warfare roll? 10, absolutely. Yeah, so the people people immediately start cheering and yelling, I think, and roaring, and yeah, the troops begin to move forward. These massive, like, walled shields that you ordered, the special like basically moving walled shield equipment is moving with your archers and with your battering ram, your very improved battering ram, and you then rush over to the siege tower that's begun to move. Get off your horse, walk very casually up, and just grab onto the ladder. And as you're moved up, you feel many of your men grabbing your arm and side and moving you up the ladder. You don't need help up the ladder, but just your men who are on these different like levels of the siege tower are just helping you up as you are there, liege lord. As you get to the top, 2 men grab each of your arms and help pull you up to the top. Your blade reaper is passed up to you as well until it is handed to you. As reaper, being a great sword, does not have a sheath, nor has no place to like secure it on yourself. You just have to basically carry it when it's not like up on a wall, basically. So the blade is passed up to you. 2 of your men hand it to you. You take it. You see the shimmering black blade, and you are ready to go. And one of your men near you, who you recognize, he's one of your infantrymen. He's sort of not a captain, but he's like essentially an officer. You recognize him from different campaigns. He's a veteran, and he kind of looks at you, and he just goes, "Sowed in blood, reaping glory."
Aye.
And yep.
Ready, Reaper.
Yes. So your men begin to move forward, and you immediately hear that high-pitched whistling noise of missiles being loosed, as you hear the tattering like hail against a tin roof in front of you on the big wall, as you hear arrows just begin to be to pelt the side. You see off to the sides we see off to the side of the battlefield those moving walls you purchased just absorbing tons and tons of arrows. They're not able to shoot much past it. Wood and time definitely money well invested in those. And most of the battering ram crew, which seems to be the major focus of the fire, is relatively unharmed. However, there does seem to be a a strange noise as you kind of look off to the side and someone calls for your attention. You hear this kind of this odd, very like weird air suctioning noise as you see landing about 20 feet from your second siege tower, a boulder kind of goes and rolls near your front lines. Apparently, they have some kind of catapult, which could mean major trouble. What would you like to do, Tidrick?
I will give orders for the cavalry.
Yeah.
To take some foot soldiers to get over there and to head off that whatever catapult thing they have.
You want to try and make them distract them with like a charging target kind of thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make that warfare roll. Now your cavalry are veteran cavalrymen. The difficulty to order them to do something this dangerous is not high. As they are mm-hmm. Do you want to keep that, or do you want to? You have.
I'll use that destiny.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Why do I keep getting ones?
It's okay. I will say, I will just tell you.
He hates me.
6 was actually enough for them to do that, as they are veteran cavalrymen. It is not a high difficulty. It is literally 6 for them.
That's fine.
They are now your archers and your infantrymen. It's a little harder to motivate them.
That's why I said
they're not as
I
experienced.
said for them to take some infantry too.
Yeah. So yeah, the cavalry charge in. You see Sir Birchwood leading that charge. You see his banner kind of flowing on the back of his horse, and it does seem like they've taken the bait. Seeing as these men's strategic thinking seem to be overplayed by their just utter want of bloodlust. They seems like they are more focused on killing as many people rather than possibly winning this battle. This is probably due to the sort of gluttonous nature that these men have been living for the past few years. They don't have, though they were soldiers, the discipline you feel is not as exactly. They care more about kills than anything else, really. Your siege engine, of course, is very slow going. However, we do see that the battering ram has, with good rolls, have reached the walls and begun to hammer away at them. The shields have kind of been brought over and stationed over, which is good because boiling oil we see is now immediately begun to be poured over. We see it slashing against most of the protective tarp. We do see there are some creaks and holes in some things, and we see like one of the men kind of holding up the larger siege wall. Essentially, the boiling oil is creating mud on the ground. He slips a bit. He falls his legs into the boiling oil. We just see them burning immediately. He screams in horrible pain. Just different sights of blood and massacre. And even though the walls are helping protect many of your men, arrows are still getting through. A large amount of your cavalry is still back waiting for the walls to go down. But your other cavalry is kind of moving around the other side and has gotten the attention of many of the men inside. But you are slow going. Another complication seems to come up. They dump several amounts of oil. It's not quite working, except then one man kind of comes up. He's we kind of see into the fort, and there's a man who's completely bald, like mostly shaved, but bald. He has a scar coming down this side of his face. He is like very ruggedly handsome, quite honestly, and he's wearing definitely some of the better armor we've seen of these men, though still not quite heavy, still a bit light compared to like the stuff Tedric is wearing. It almost looks like a modified like half plate. One of his arms is a much less protected, as we see why as he pulls out a full longbow. We see him walk over and light an arrow on fire and then hit the top of your shields as the oil immediately just catches and your entire battering ram area for the shield light with flames. There is some panic. Some of the men look like they want to try and throw the shielding away as it is on fire. They're beginning to panic. What would you like to do about that? You can still yell for orders and things like that.
Yeah. Yell out, somebody take out the archer. And also yell for them, strengthen your wills, men. They're desperate.
Excellent. Okay, so you want to try and keep them together. Absolutely. So that is another warfare roll to keep your men in line. 10. Yep. TN was 9.
Another one.
Mm-hmm. You call out to them. Your order is yelled out, and the heir of the Asterwood family, his Lord Aldrich's younger brother, calls out and goes, "Stay in formation! They're desperate!" And just kind of conveys what you say. The men kind of stayed up. One thing was moved, but the other flaming one has been moved kind of on top almost. They're a little more open on the sides now, but many of the men are being distracted by the cavalry that's kind of moving around them. They seem very nervous about that. They know the power of a reach cavalry charge. However, you are keeping them in line, and it does seem that some of them are trying to reach up and take out that archer, but none of them seem quite quick enough, as the men who kind of like pop out to like essentially throw a javelin at that guy, the moment they pop out, he just kills them. Whoever that man is, which as you get closer, you get a better look at him. You know who that man is, Tedric. That's Flint. That's the leader of this entire army. And you know him to be an elite veteran soldier. So you feel if you are going to be able to take. However, as your siege engine gets closer, it does look like he leaves the front wall. You're not sure where he goes because there is a lot of clamor and clatter going on. However, the siege engine is battering away still unhindered. There is basically more oil is being dumped on them. And because the top is on fire, basically we see down the sides, just fire is raining down. And the men are obviously scared, but staying strong, seeing as they know running would lead to a very swift end from arrows. But in the clatter and clamor, we do see the first siege engine launched, which is not the one you're in, gets pelted again by a catapult, and a chunk of it gets blown off. However, it's still standing. You did buy some pretty sturdy siege towers, so they can take a bit of a beating. However, they are being pelted. You see some men fall off from the top, obviously injured themselves as they fall to the ground. Some just die on impact. But there is still a good amount on there. The siege tower, however, as it gets closer, you see men are looks like swinging slings, but the whatever the thing they're slinging is much bigger than a rock, and they're throwing it at the siege tower, and it's just like shattering against it. And you realize they're throwing clay pots at the siege tower, and there is something in them. Some liquid spills over onto it, And coming out from behind the fort, another flaming arrow goes out, hits the top part of the siege tower as it lights up into
Is this
flames.
the one that I am in?
No, this is the one that the other one. And as it gets a bit close, another mangonel shot slams into the top of the siege tower. It doesn't do much damage to it. However, there unfortunately seemed to have been some confusion. When that happens, the people working the lever think that they've hit the wall, and the thing goes down, still about 10 feet from the actual wall. Well, a little bit more than that. And as the men come up, they are just pelted with more of these clay pots. And they're beginning to try and pull the bridge back up. But unfortunately, it is sort of designed when the bridge comes down, it's very difficult to get back up. Kind of the whole point of a siege tower. And many of them are lit on fire, but many of them manage to move to a lower part very quickly. Is there anything you want to give an order to those men? Fire is something that very easily routs people.
Hold your positions. Wait to make contact.
Okay.
Then give them hell.
All right. Make another warfare roll, Tejik. 9. That is enough. They won't abandon the siege tower. They will wait. Until many of them are throwing javelins. At the men, waiting for the people to finish pushing the siege tower. As they're getting closer, people are beginning to pelt them. But because they're so distracted with that one, they don't seem to be as intent on yours. However, you do start to feel the crashing of something on there, believing that they're going to try to light your siege tower on fire as well. However, you do feel that crack, and you do get let know from the bottom. You hear the order passed up going, "We hit the wall!" And you move to the front. Do you have anything to say to your men as you're about to charge into the front lines here?
For Frodo.
We have reached them, and we will take their lives.
Okay, absolutely.
If you die here, you will join the 7.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a warfare roll to just to amp these men up. 12. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
No one.
Yeah, no.
I know. First time.
Yeah, 2 degrees of success. The moment the thing goes down, the men just scream and yell out. The men who are throwing pots, the moment you scream, they kind of are a little taken aback by the utter ferocity your men just come charging out. You leading the way. Lord Tedric, the men seem to freeze because they believed the leader of the army would be at the back, where all of the leaders always are. They're never in the front. But then they see you, a literal monster in a full plate armor, in a freaking your a tartan kind of coming down, your black sword gleaming, men screaming all around you as you just rush forward. Please give me an attack roll, man.
Oh.
18.
That was
yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. Is that good? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. You just leap off and immediately just cut 2 men in half with one fucking longsword swing. It is
Great sword.
Thank you. With one sweep of Reaper, you just clove 2 men in twain, and your men just rush out and begin stabbing and slashing. And with your amping them up and your obvious show of intense prowess, your men begin to immediately take this side of the wall. Are you trying to focus right now on the battle that's going on, or are you focused on helping your men here take this side of the wall?
As of the moment, I will help them take this side of the wall.
Okay, understood.
To prove to them that, yes, we can do this.
Well, absolutely. So if I could just get another fighting roll from you, my man.
That's more like it.
Oh my god. Yeah. 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 No, I see the 2 6s. Yeah, we literally actually, you know what? So Tijik, that's a crit essentially. And with the 12, yeah. Tijik, tell me, describe to me, Jesse, what you are doing on this wall as you egg your men forward.
I come down with Reaper, slicing one of them in half, bisecting.
Yep. Oh yeah, just
swinging around, lopping off another's head. Come back around, stab it into another, and then kick him off the blade over the wall.
Over the wall.
And proceed to just be a blender of arms, teeth, and blades.
Indeed. Yeah, you at one point we literally see you man charging you, and you just immediately place your sword down. He runs into your blade, you push it. 2 men unfortunately were just behind him, and we watch you impale 3 men, your blade cutting through their armor like hot butter. And then you just and let gravity let them fall off of your blade as they're just pushed down onto the other side. As they fall. As you move your men forward, you do notice what's inside of Ruin Hall, and you see a fuck ton of men. You see plenty of men, like, obviously bracing the wall, but there are also a ton of these really tall, long pikes, it looks like they're getting, and beginning to angle towards the door. Now, you know your order is the moment the thing is broken is to have your cavalry rush in and mop up inside, but those pikes are going to be a huge problem for your cavalry. What would you like? Your men have gotten inside. The other side, people are beginning to come on, but due to the fire, there's a lot more fighting on the left side of the wall. What would you like to do?
Have we taken this wall?
I mean, you've most of this
We've got
side of the wall.
Right now.
Your men are on it. There's still lots of fighting, and there are more men coming up the stairs to fight you.
Oh, joy. I will tell the men, part of them to stay and hold this position. The rest of them to follow me or going to the stairs.
Okay. You also have a ballista that you haven't used.
Oh, we have
yet.
one with us?
Yeah, you have 3.
The ballista able to hit the pikers or no?
They would. Their ballista are very good at, like, if you give an order of where they are specifically, the ballista
then I will definitely give that order.
Okay, absolutely. Give me a warfare roll to get through the clamor and the clatter, seeing as you are in battle now. Oh my god. Yeah, that's 2 degrees of success. Absolutely. Your voice just carries. Normally you would say like a helmet, the full helmet might block your voice. No. The strange conical flower design seems to enhance it like a megaphone. As you call the order of just, pikemen below 20 degrees, you just immediately hit the 20 degrees of the mark. That goes all the way through your large ballista just all nod and begin to calculate on the angle, man. And you begin to rush towards the stairs, the other men rushing towards the center of the wall. Now, your men hit the stairs before you do. You are much slower in your bulky side because they're ready to go. They're beginning to slash and attack. These men, however, that you're fighting are obviously very experienced frontline infantrymen, and the zeal of your men seems to be making up for the lack of experience compared to these men, but they are fighting fairly on equal terms. However, Tidrick, I need you to make me an awareness check.
You got it. I just recently upped this, or at least a part of it.
12. Okay. Absolutely. You do notice this. I don't know if it's necessarily in time, but it is. You do notice it. You see a man aiming a flaming bow at you, and you see Flint from across the way on the other side of the wall, on halfway up a stair, staring at you and just pulling back on his long bow to aim at you. He does not get a clamor bonus. You do notice
I
him.
will yell out, "Coward!"
Sure. Okay. Absolutely.
Instincts from my dad kicking in.
So right, yeah. So he's gonna use his ability. He's gonna mark that up 1 dice. So, yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see how this happens. You should be able to see this. Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. So that's 19. What's your combat defense, my man?
Combat defense 4.
4. That makes
Full
sense.
plate.
Full plate. Yeah. So he does crit you. So that is going to be. So that's 5, 20, and so yeah. So because that would raise it to that. So, whew. You are going to take a nasty hit here, my man. So your plate armor will get rid of 10 of this.
Yes.
So because he crit, he moves the damage of his bow up by 1. Because it's just a single one. Yeah, I think he's going to do that. So that will be a total of, because that's right. Yeah. So that's 24 damage minus 10. That's 14.
Okay, I will have to take an injury to survive this.
Okay. So
Because I have, I believe, 9 health.
Okay. So you will. Let's see here. So you're going to take an injury, which will minus, I believe. Well, no. What's your what's your endurance?
3.
3. So that would just, for taking 1 injury, will just lower the damage by 3. If you want to negate if you want to negate the damage, it's you take a wound.
If I take a wound, minus 1 die on all tests.
Yes.
And I could take a number of wounds up to my endurance, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay, you take a wound. All right, so let's see. This is the kind of the first time we're doing. We're really doing like a wound. Let's see where. Let's see where that wound is. You're wearing full plate. Let's see here. He's got a bow. It's pierced. La 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 la. Defeating consequences. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. Yeah. All right. Equal to endurance rating. Yep. Okay. Yep. Wounds. Negate it. La la la. Covering. There we go. Okay. So yeah. Let's. Where is this wound? Yeah. So I think you are you see him, you go coward, and then basically as you yell coward, the arrow goes basically under your arm and directly through your side, missing your heart, thankfully, but you feel it hit the back of your armor through your body, and now there's just an arrow right under the stop, and the arrow was on fire. So luckily that does cauterize the wound. However, it also makes it impossibly painful. And even if you rip the arrow out, you will feel just this horrid pain all throughout your left side and blood lightly beginning to drip.
I'm on my way.
After he does it, he just like smiles and like lowers the bow and then very calmly reaches for another arrow and knocks it. Now,
I'm assuming my left arm.
it is your left arm, yes. It is like right here, essentially. You feel it basically puncture near your shoulder blade. It's not, it's rough. So you know you're going to have a -1 dice on all of your attacks, but you can still use the arm. It's just going to be really painful.
Oh, let
Now,
the pain drive me.
yeah, so there is, to get to Flint, it's going to be really hard because he's on like this kind of opposite side. There's a lot of guys. The area around you, just to show where you are, you're kind of, it's essentially there are, 4 walls. You're on the front right side of the wall. You're kind of moving kind of towards the back for where the stairs are. You're kind of, just about to the stairs, or a little bit on the right side wall. Flint is essentially a little bit catty-cornered from you. He's in the dead center of the very back wall, halfway up on a landing of the other stairs. It's one of the only stairs that's like still alive. Most of your men are behind you and off to the left. Other men are charging from the other side of the wall, the enemy on this side of the wall, and there are more men coming up the stairs. They are clogging it. As there is a ton of men just in this keep waiting. They're smart enough to not charge out because you have cavalry and they'll just be annihilated. But inside, though, there's a ton of men in here and they're just clogging the stairways. So getting to them would be quite difficult. Inside, there's a lot of, what's up?
Is there an area where it might be a bit of a risky leap for me to be able to jump across?
Actually, there is a lot of construction equipment in here, seeing as they had to quickly repair a lot of the walls. There is, kind of close to you, a little crane, almost like a medieval crane with some rope hanging off of it. If you have the balls, you could leap, grab the rope, and literally swing over to him.
Really? You say if he has the balls? You know he has the balls.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Look at how many kids I have.
Yeah, no, accurate.
And I believe that would be a strength?
It would be an athletics strength. Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
It would.
Okay.
Would you like to do that, Jesse?
What? I still have at least one destiny die.
Yeah.
What kind of bonuses could I get from using it now?
An extra bonus dice to
okay.
Test dice essentially to the roll.
I'd rather have it so that
in case things go terribly.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Actually, in case things go terribly, I can still burn a full.
So now remember, if you've marked, so this is a thing some people forget. If you've marked 1 wound on your sheet, it will automatically lower the dice from your thing. So don't manually lower it. Otherwise, you'll have even less dice than you're rolling.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
I just want to cover it for everybody.
Okay, so
All right,
T-Trick is gonna run, jump,
Yep.
and try and swing.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Okay.
Destiny point used.
Uh-huh. 8. Unfortunate. That was not good enough. Tedrick, you run forward, grab on to the, you leap. You realize you have to hold Reaper, so you grab with one arm onto the thing, but you realize, oh, that's my left arm. And you feel this horrible pull on your wound as you feel it kind of open a little more. So this is a moment for you, Tidra. Now you got 8. That was just below the target number. So I'm going to give you a sort of devil's deal right now. You can either drop Reaper and complete the swing, or hold on to Reaper and fall into the crowd of men below.
I'd feel sorry for that crowd.
You will be on your back, though, at the start of that combat round.
I will drop Reaper.
You will drop Reaper. Yeah, Reaper, and just pierces through the ground, as it is a Valyrian steel blade. And you, with one arm complete and land, boom, on the landing near Flynn. And he kind of looks at you, and you just hear him say, "You got balls." I was like, "Oh boy. Always thought that was your old lady." And you see him just pull a blade out.
I will proceed to pull my bastard sword.
Yep, you do have your bastard sword sheathed on you.
And do I have my tower shield on my back?
You do not, unfortunately. No. You just have your bastard other sword, but you can two-hand it, though. Yep, and you stare down at each other. Excellently. So, not seeing their liege fall to the ground, the morale of the men keep high, as you did just pull off a really cool thing. Most of them didn't really even notice that you dropped your sword since you pulled out another one. Most of your men was like, that was the coolest shit I've ever fucking seen.
I feel bad for whoever tries to steal Reaper.
It's gonna happen. But so while you're on there, however, you do suddenly hear this intense whistling noise. And thank God you weren't down there, as 3 massive ballista bolts go boosh, boosh, and just land random places in the crowd. The first one shattering several pikes. The second one hitting a little more off its mark, but still causing an explosion of dirt and debris as men try to get out of the way. One man just fully impaled on what is essentially a 10-foot long, 3-foot thick crossbow bolt. And the third one crashes in the dead center of where the pikemen are, many of them splintering. And you're really glad, because you would have fallen near there, and that could have been really bad. So, as you're staring down with Flint, his blade out, and he is going to attack you. Doot. Do. See here.
Bring it on, pup.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. All right, that's a 19.
What is with him in 19s?
It's his roll. I can't tell you why.
At least he's consistent.
Yeah. So
he's gonna
crit. All right, so instead of doing more damage, he's gonna do a different thing. So so he's going to do, what was that? So that would be 18, I want to say. 18? Yeah. So that is 18 damage to you, minus 10, so 8 damage to you. If you want to take an injury to lessen that by your endurance rank or anything like that.
I'm still good. I would have 1 HP left, so I don't need to.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So he slams against you with his sword several times. You can tell this man is filled with just pure fucking bloodlust. He doesn't seem to care that his men are dying. You see he's caring just about fucking killing you. And you then feel him stab in through your side, just through a chink of the blade, pulling it out. And you see some blood come out with you, but not enough to take you down, just enough to kind of, it's actually, he wouldn't even stab you. It's more like he just hits you in the chest a ton of times with his blade, not drawing any damage, but it's knocking the air and wind out of you mostly. And you just see the utter elation on this man's face. And you see there is like not even a hint of fear of mortal men. Even the most bloodthirsty men have some kind of fear of dying. This guy just seems not afraid, even a tiny bit. However, it is your turn.
Seeing this,
Yeah.
sadly, I don't have Reaper, or else I would attack his weapon.
Right, yes. 100%.
I will do 2 basic attacks upon him.
Absolutely, you're right up on him, so go for it. Let's see that first one. Oh!
Is this what it feels like to be when Thorsten rolls?
Okay, so that's a crit,
Triple.
and you have 3 6s. 1 second, let me go to the crit degree table. That is disgusting.
Really awesome.
Indeed.
Well, that 24 damage that he inflicted a little while ago, that was disgusting also.
That was, yes. Flint's a very good archer.
I'm just paying him back.
With a little bit of interest.
With a little bit of interest.
A
Oh,
little bit.
I'm sorry, I can't. Of course, I don't have the crit. I can't find the crit table. I hate this book so much. Wait. Oh no, that's the healing table. Oh, I found it. All right. Yeah, you get. So that's 3 6s you have.
Yes.
So that is a bloody wound. Your attack leaves a bleeding wound. In addition to the damage dealt, your target gains 1 injury. This injury does not reduce damage in any way. Yeah. So let's see. What's the base damage of your bastard sword, my man?
Give me 1 moment here. Ooh, I can just.
I believe it's 5. Yeah.
Bastard sword. 7.
7 of your bastard sword?
Due to strength, I believe.
Oh, that's right. You have dice and strength. Of course you do. You disgusting motherfucker. Yeah.
I'm not
Jesus.
sure if it gets anything for dual handing or not, or if it just doesn't lose something.
No, hold on. Yeah, so that's Jesus. Sorry, I'm just trying to do calculations here. Yeah, so he's definitely gonna take. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, dude, you come in with your bastard sword. You guys are sword fighting a little bit. He's just hammering like your blade away, but then you kind of get him and you just stab him directly through his armor, through his chest. And then you kick him off and you expect him to fall over, and he just hangs there and then just smiles really big, and you're a little freaked out. In fact, I need you right now to make a will bravery test.
Okay.
As when you pull your sword out, there is like not much blood.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have any tests in like courage or bravery.
Well, you're bleeding
Courage?
enough for both of them.
Mm-hmm. 8. All right. So You are stunned. Unfortunately, which means you lose your second attack.
I would like to use my final destiny point for this.
Okay, you wanna?
Yeah, I want to do a reroll on
Go
that.
for it.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
You do it. Yeah, this man doesn't have a lot of blood on him despite that you just impaled him, and he's smiling at you still. You just dealt like a serious, fatal blow to him, like a fatal blow. Yet he's not going down. However, you do gain your second attack.
Okay. I'm reading the long blade stuff.
Yep.
Have you been giving -1 penalty to their combat defense against my attacks if they're wielding a shield?
He's not wielding a shield.
Then he would get -1 to his combat defense.
Okay, that would not have affected the past rolls.
I got it.
But thank you for letting me know. Yeah, he just has a long sword out.
So, question. Are we near an edge?
Absolutely, you're near an edge. Absolutely, you are.
Are we within 1 yard of an edge?
On a platform that's like essentially a landing in between two medieval like stairs going up a wall. Like you are 100%.
So I take it we're within 1 yard of an edge.
Oh, easily.
Okay.
Do you want to sacrifice 2 bonus dice?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Absolutely, you can absolutely do that.
Let's see.
Do you want to share with the kids at home what this longsword ability is?
Longsword.
Your long blade.
Over here. Long blade.
I'm a social
Ability.
kid, not a fighter.
Yes. Long blade fighter 2. When wielding a long blade in combat, for every 2 bonus dice sacrificed, you and your opponent move 1 yard in any direction if you successfully hit your foe. You may drive your foe into terrain features such as ponds, rivers, or off cliffs. Should you move your opponent in such a way that they would lose their balance or be in danger, your opponent can negate this movement by succeeding a challenging 9 agility test. Bonus dice from the dodge specialty apply.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so get down to my fighting. Take away 2 of the bonus dice. Double check over here. Okay. Now, mind you, this is at a -1 combat defense.
All right, go for it. 12. You hit him. Yeah, absolutely. You fully hit him. Yeah, so with -1, that would actually be 2 degrees of success. So that is 14 damage minus his armor, which is still a good amount. Yeah, and you move him off to the side. He is going to make an agility test. He does have some bad stuff bombing going on right now for him, so this will probably not end up being super great for him. No, that's about right. Yeah, you with a result
I'm
of
gonna knock
4
him off the back of the castle.
Well, there's only one side you can fall off of.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would just have him fall like back up his own stairs. So there's only literally one side. You kind of have to hit him off to the side, and he just falls down into the clamor of his own men down there. And you hear several of your men call out, like just in success of you just hitting a dude like off the side. The moment that happens, hilariously enough, the door, one of them just caves in as the battering ram has just broken through. and some of the men are beginning to tear the wall down. Many of the other guys are charging, and you see the battering ram being moved. And unless you don't want this to happen, the battle plan that you had made, you hear the clarion horn of the cavalry charge. And as you just hear, and you suddenly hear the thundering of your cavalry. And a moment later, you are once again engaged in combat. You are heavily injured. These men looking to just take you the fuck down. However, so let's just see. Let's see here. Let's see if they can do anything. If some men who are running up to you can harm you. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. All right, that is a hit. The damage of their weapon is boo.
That's quite a few successes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's see here. That's 4, so that would be 12 damage minus 10 from your armor. So
I will take an injury.
you take an injury. So several men beat on you. You turn and slap them away. Basically, you feel your right arm take a bit of a beating. It might be fractured a little bit, but who cares? You are still very much in this fight. If I could get a combat roll from you to fight off, as you are now kind of surrounded on both sides by men since you swung over here.
Question.
Yes. Yes.
Would it be suicidal to jump down towards where I knocked what's his name?
Would it be suicidal? Dangerous.
Dangerous to try and get Reaper.
It would be very dangerous to do that.
Yes.
Would
I be able to do the respite thing where I heal from my endurance or whatever that is? And
the combat move. Let's see, where is that? There it is. Respite. The catch your breath thing.
Yes, that one.
Is there any restrictions on that?
It's a greater.
It's a greater action though.
So I wouldn't be able to do that and go off.
No.
Well, I still can take 2 more wounds.
Uh-huh.
So I am going to just walk off the edge or jump off.
Okay,
see if I can't maybe aim myself toward Flynn.
All right, this is an athletics test. Your strength would actually apply here.
Don't fuck me up. Yeah.
14. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So did you want to be near Flint or Reaper? Because they're
Reaper. Because if I go near Flint, Reaper.
Yeah.
Might
So instead of stepping off, you like fight off these men and just leap like a fucking juggernaut, apparently. And you just land. Your knees, you hear a crack in them, but
hold together. Don't let them see.
Yeah, you literally land just. And many of the men kind of got out of the way, like, what the fuck? As this strange-headed titan in the battlefield has just landed. That's a lesser action. If you want to use another lesser action to grab Reaper. Yeah, you... with your injured arm as another spurt of blood, but you don't give a fuck. But yeah, a lot of the at this point, with a lot of the deserters around you are like not super sure if they want to get near you. But
can I also aim Reaper at Flint?
He's kind of back behind you. I think it's more just like, yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. Yes, you do that. At this part though, the walls
Staring
come down, and Tedric, you see rushing in your cavalry into the main area, leading them. You see Sir Cedric, and of course Sir Birchsong at the head of the charge, as they just begin to just cut a swath through the men. So a lot of them turn their attention away from you towards the cavalry coming in, all these horses just beginning to form into this area. Just slashing and raking down. Things seem to be going well. All right. So Sir, it looks like Sir Birchsong is kind of fighting towards you. What do you do, Tedric?
Is it my turn again, or do I?
Yeah.
Okay, I will turn and start heading toward Flynn.
All right. Yeah, you begin to wade towards Flint. You will have to cut some men down to get there.
Wait,
Oh,
you mean
no.
cut down chaffs of wheat?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, I'm gonna need that combat roll.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah. No. That's just dead. You just immediately walk forward. A man charges you, and you just cut him down immediately. You will not have enough actions to attack him, but you do come
I will be
upon
yelling out
Flint.
Flint.
Yeah, so you do come upon Flint. You see him in the distance. He's on the ground, but looks like he's very much conscious. And he's like laughing, like really hard. And it's pretty weird.
Creepy.
Yeah, you would say
Is that
so.
like maniacal laugh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the laugh of a madman.
Mhm.
This isn't like, oh, he found something kind of enjoyable. He's just like, just like,
So
just
very
he's
Joker
cackling. Yeah, he's just cackling,
Funny,
essentially.
haha.
You do like as this goes on, you do see a white horse pull up next to you, and you see Sir Birchsong there, Sir Jaren, and he looks down at you, and he just goes, like, my lord, you're injured. Do you need me to get you like to the healers?
Not yet. Stay close by.
Yes, sir. And he
Keep this
will.
riffraff off my back.
It is like, by your command, my lord. And he just rears his horse up, and his horse just kills a dude, apparently. Just fucking lands on a guy. Yep, just fucking dead. You see, he charged in with a spear. He has left that spear like in two guys off to in the corner, and he has his sword out at this point.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
You see Cedric literally leaps off his horse at this point and just like stage dive tackles into a group of men and then just pop up and cut a guy's head off, apparently. And you see him just start to move towards like the inner part of the keep immediately. And he starts calling out, going, secure the path to the inner keep! Keep a pathway open! And just a lot of the men are beginning to like push forward with their horses. These are all war-trained horses, but they are beginning to freak out a little with so many men in here, which is also freaking the men out. It's a fucking clamor of blood and battle, and the smell of shit is beginning to rise over the smell of blood as all of these corpses are defecating themselves. As there is truly nothing glorious when in the deep middle of war. It is messy and bloody and smells of shit. Flint is still just fucking cackling. He's just laughing. Something is hilarious to him, and you really don't know what. he's just still laughing on his back, not doing much else. Tidrick, you can go up to him at this point.
Mm-hmm. And I will use the knockout.
Okay.
Athletics or fighting, whichever is higher, versus endurance times 4. Success equals stun, -5 to combat defense. 2 degrees success equals unconscious.
Okay. Required range 0 or opponent unaware. You are at range 0 with him. Endurance test to shake, stun, or wake up. Got it. Otherwise, lose turn for 1d6 rounds or wakes up in 1d6 minutes. Excellent. Go for it, my man. I know. So your TN is going to be
Well, you just get to know it. I don't.
Well, that's true, but I'll just tell you. It's not a big
Okay.
deal. That your TN is 12.
Did I make it?
You did. You did.
I think I doubled in successes.
You did. You got 2 degrees at least. So yeah, you with the pommel, you just raise up your blade and then just come fully down with the pommel and just crack him directly in the skull. And he goes, and just is unconscious.
Birdsong,
He's right next to you. He goes, my lord,
collect up this man.
right away. And he will just reach down and you can just help him. And he just pulls him on over his horse and begins to cut through more of the men.
I'll take Cedric's horse out.
Yeah, you want to? Yeah, you'll absolutely. So I'm
I'll
gonna need
cut
another.
down anybody that needs
I'm
to
gonna need
come
another.
through.
I'm gonna need another combat roll from you, and someone else is gonna get a combat roll. Deserter is gonna get a combat roll on you.
I'm sorry, that's a -1
Mm-hmm.
because I have an injury.
Yes. Well, it does it automatically.
No, it does. Okay.
Yeah. So that's 2 degrees of success. Someone hits you for 8 damage, which your armor completely absorbs.
Ting!
You just hear ting, and you just turn and stab them, pull it back. Absolutely. However, you get to Cedric's horse, and you climb up on it, and you begin to go through that. There is a clear line for you to get yourself back.
And along my way, I will take another swipe.
Absolutely.
And yell out, "We have taken them,"
All right.
which will be a fighting.
Yep. You just decapitate 2 people as you move.
A final warfare roll.
Oh.
Well, that's not good.
That's real bad. No one hears you essentially. As you essentially, instead of going, "We have taken them," you go and just blood comes out of your mouth as you're beginning to bounce on the horse. You're like, okay, well, we did a lot of stuff today, Diedrich.
We definitely went to work.
So yeah, you ride back to the lines. You pass as come forward. Lord Asteward charges in with his men. Checks that you're okay as you pass him. He looks at you as, "My lord." Do you give him a thumbs up or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just like you reassure him you're all right. Lord Asteward charges in to supplement the rest of the men. Most of the archers on the wall have been taken out by your men. And yeah, you are ridden over to the camp tents, essentially, which are behind the hill. You are helped off, and immediately many of the healers begin to grab you and just cut your armor off from you very quickly. And you coherently tell them where you've been hit.
Yeah, and leather can be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Because to actually they're not going to take the time. They're just fucking cutting the leather and the binks and the chinks, and they're just kind of like popping you out.
The one right here.
Yeah,
the arrow was still there.
Yeah, they're popping you out, and they got to you more than enough in time. However, they do force you to drink some milk of the poppy, as you are the liege lord and leader of this entire battle.
Bound.
They nod like he's already being moved.
Gagged.
But you kind of, before you pass out, you do hear a call up of victory. And you do see many of the people cheering, as it seems you have very handily won the Battle of Ruin Hall. Woo! And you pass out. Very, very rewardingly. Yeah, I would like to cut to a little later. Tidrick, you have woken at this point. You're patched up, but you need rest very much.
I'm assuming my arm is like wrapped to my chest.
Yeah, very much so. And you're definitely feeling sore. You're supposed to be resting. You see Jean come up to you and is like, "Well, the day's ours, my lord. Most of the deserters were killed in the fighting. Though near the end, very many of them surrendered. We were wondering what you wanted to do with them, my lord. They are guilty of desertion and banditry and treason at this point, which is, as you know, on your lands, worthy of death. And you do have the rights of gallows and dungeons. So what would you like done with them, my lord?"
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is exile a thing?
Yeah, but these people don't live on your lands, so
I wouldn't exile them from my lands. I would exile them to an island.
Oh, to well, you don't have an island to really exile them to.
They're
you
also
can't really,
already deserters. They don't care about
yeah,
boundaries.
you don't really have a way to exile them away.
Okay.
You can only really exile them from your lands, but then they're on someone else's. Yeah, they wouldn't. You know that these men wouldn't give a shit. They want to leave anyway.
Send them to the gallows.
He smiles.
They will spend 3 weeks there, and then every day one shall be hung.
He goes, "Oh, well, we don't really have the ability to transport this many men, so I assumed you just meant a battlefield gallow, as in..." Yeah, yeah, so all of them...
I'm still under the effects of milk of the poppy.
Of course, my lord, of course. Yeah, he gives the order, and we see it out in the field where there are 50 men on their knees. People just come up behind them and just begin slitting their throats.
I just hold up, reach for a cup and... Where's Kyle?
Yeah. As you say that, Kyle is just next to you with a pitcher, and he's just like...
Good boy.
He's just pulling on. He's covered in blood, by the way.
Have you been in battle, dear boy?
And he goes, "Oh, well, one of the injured, one of the dead, got up and tried to attack someone. I did have to knife him, my lord, but I was not in the battle as per your instructions."
When the dead got up?
Well, apparently he wasn't as dead as everyone thought he was, my lord.
Do we still know where his corpse is?
I think they burned it, my lord.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, but wine, and he just pours.
Yes, wine.
He just pours.
I will take down the entire flagon and then hold it out again.
Yep. He refills it. He goes, "A victory's toast, my lord." Your greatness that grows and knows no bounds.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah. Jean then kind of sits down on a stool. He goes, "So, what do you want to do with Flint? Make an example of him? Are we gonna take him back? Proper execution?" He nods. He's just like,
he will be questioned thoroughly.
"Ooh, interesting, my lord. Absolutely." And then perhaps are we gonna? Jean is just like quiet and like public execution, right? Like a display showing what happens,
Of course.
right? Nods. He just nods and goes, right, absolutely.
And word will be sent.
Mhm. He nods. Rest of the men are still sacking Ruin Hall. There's a lot of loot there, apparently.
Loot and hidey holes.
The men are very much enjoying their cut of the spoils. We're gonna have a lot of happy men here today.
And I'll say probably a bi-yearly stipend of a dragon to the ones who have families of those who have fallen.
It's quite generous, my lord. Absolutely. So 1 second. Sorry. It goes. Also, my lord. They had a number of prisoners in the dungeons.
Prisoners.
Yes, mostly women. Vivek, what would you like done with them?
If they are willing, they can come back and we'll find a place for them in our lands. If not, they can go on their way.
Very well, my lord. Many of them are seemingly injured or sick as well. Would you like
Have our healers take a look at them and let
Of
them
course,
know
my
if
lord.
it is something that is prolonged treatment, they can come back to our place and receive treatment from our best healers.
Absolutely, my lord. I'll give the word. And he'll get up and go off.
And your work cut out for you, David.
Mhm. In the bed next to you, Tedric, you hear someone kind of sitting up on like the kind of immediate tart kind of bed thing, and you see it's Lord Aldrich, your liege, your banner lord. It looks like he has an injury on his arm.
Left arm?
Yeah, same arm as you.
Yeah. We're matching.
He goes, "Hi, my lord. We are." Bastard hit me with a cudgel on my shield arm.
I was shot by Flint.
Oh, yeah.
Flaming arrow.
And you still sit there. Truly a testament to your skill and youth. And he kind of looks at you and goes, just wanted to
Coward,
thank.
here's the bow.
He just stares at you for a second and just
No, sir,
nods.
that's my father speaking.
He just nods and goes, my lord, I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity.
Of course.
It was good to feel righteous battle again.
It's always good to feel a righteous battle every now and again.
Yes, I thought all of them were out of me, but I had one more left in me, and it... by the gods, did it feel good.
Of course.
My brother's in a stupor. It took about 10 men to calm him down after the battle. He gets in a bit of a frenzy every now and again, but he's injured, but they believe he will live fine.
Good.
This was
Did
a
you
good day.
lose anyone?
A few men, but just in the initial charge. Not too bad. We mostly mopped up, but there were more men in the hall, a lot more than we thought.
Yes.
So they spilled out, used some death holes, caught a few of us unaware, but we were all right. Yes.
Very good.
Your
I tell you what, they did not expect me at the top of the siege tower.
they did not, my lord. I think that was a cunning decision. But your man, your man,
Birdsong?
Sir Birchsong, he took an
Yes.
arrow from me. I don't know. I don't think I would have lived. I believe he's all right though. Youth, tough, but he's a good man.
You're a tough old bird.
Him and my nephew, they fought like demons. I was a little envious, I will say.
It's just all that youth.
Nods, very much so.
But us veterans, we can give them a good show.
He goes, I think more than so. The men cannot stop talking about you, my lord. Word on everyone's lips is that I think Tidrick, I think Weirlight, holds the reputation of the Reaper quite well.
Very good.
Kyle goes, "Would you like some wine, my lord?" to Aldrich, and he goes, "I just fought in a war, boy. Of course I would." And he just puts hands him a goblet, and he cheerses you, Tidrick. He goes, "To the Redlands."
To the Redlands.
And just downs it immediately.
Reaped in blood.
Mm-hmm. Sowed in blood, reaped in glory. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Sorry, the milk of the puppy still has my head a bit spinny.
understood. So, you loot the crap out of Ruin Hall. There's a lot of ill-gotten gains in there, and listen, there's no way for you to give it back properly. So it's yours now. Many of the men take their claim of share, as you do have rights of essentially like loot in your army and in the culture. So they get to, some of the men are like, "Fuck yeah, buying a house," like from this. A lot of men are pretty happy with this, especially since a lot of the veteran cavalrymen from the war never really got to loot anything. Because you were mostly defending your land, so now they're finally getting some plunder. They're having a good time. So it takes about 2 days to sort out everything. And from this mighty victory, Tidrick, you gain some benefits. Your house does. Well, your house does at least. Yes, oohs and ahs. Indeed. Boop-a-doo.
Do I need to start looking at house stats things too?
Yes, I'm about to tell you some stuff.
Cool.
All right.
Keep up
so,
the stats.
A few things.
Yes, keep up the stats.
In your absolute lovely victory. So in your victory, due to the nature of it, you guys won't go up in you won't go up in influence just now. Maybe in a bit, but you actually will go up plus 1d6 to law. Because
am I to roll this?
If you would so gallantly, Tidrick. Plus 6 to law to your lands.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
Because he was on the front lines.
Yeah, man, you brought it. You
They know better
did.
now.
Indeed they do. And you due to your very successful warfare rolls, you won't have to lessen anything from your power, which is nice. And you will also gain plus 2d6 to wealth, as these guys have been raiding for about
Quite some time.
a long time, actually.
Couple.
This is a literal horde. They have been raiding basically, I want to say literally since about a year after the rebellion ended. So a long time.
Bless you.
Thank you.
About 7 years or so. 7, 8 years. Yeah, six more to wealth. It's pretty good. I'm sorry, and it's you also have a flat plus 2 to that as well, so it's 8 to wealth in total.
Nice.
It's very nice. And well, actually, because of the way I want to kind of fast forward a bit, we're also going to let the after effects come in as well. So this is actually going to gain you a plus 1d6 to power. Due to some redistribution, another 4 to power, you guys. Very nice.
Go back.
And
Half or higher, baby. Half or higher.
And a plus 1d6 to influence. 5. Jesus.
Yes.
See, I got all the bad rolls out during the battle.
Mm-hmm. You did.
All those damn ones.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And you now we're going to cut over. Now, Vivian.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, yes, of course.
Send word to my wife.
Of course. I assumed. Now, Vivian, last time we saw you, you had sort of uncovered a strange plot.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent a word to your good friend and fellow your cabal member that someone was trying to frame her.
Mm-hmm.
Due to this, and she had kind of taken in that strange soothsayer. You warned her about him. You do by the time you are leaving Crake Hall and the Crake Halls, they of course are whispering you a grand goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Could I invite Melissa to the wedding? Because I know her and Dan
Yes.
were hitting it off.
If you want to, do you want to? Are you just inviting Melissa and not the other Crake Halls, or are you
They can
inviting?
come to. I didn't know if they wanted to come to the wedding, but
So
I'd
if you
be happy.
invite at this point, invite the Crake Halls to your wedding, your son wedding, they will 100% come.
Yeah, more allies. I love it.
Yeah, no, you definitely have secured more allies in this place. And yeah, and if you especially think to Melissa, she is very excited to come.
Mm-hmm.
Darren is also excited.
Of course he is.
You don't say.
You don't say. However, when you reach back to Theolden Hall from your grand goodbye, you have a raven there waiting from your good friend Eve Tellison. And it says, by the time your letter arrived, her strange soothsayer had disappeared for a few days, seemingly knowing which way the wind was blowing.
Tony thinks, I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't catch any of that. My internet shut out.
Okay,
So
no problem.
Till after inviting Melissa and the Crake Halls, they were ecstatic to come. That's it that I heard.
Yes, so you get back to Theolden Hall from your great travel. You receive a raven from Eve Tellison. It says by the time she got your raven, her mysterious sorcerer had disappeared a few days, seemingly knowing which way the wind is blowing, but her men and people are on the lookout for them, and she's already messaged Cassandra and Delilah to essentially extend the network. Eve seems terrifyingly quietly upset that this has happened.
Yeah.
And she seems to be now kind of very much pushing for your wives' cabal to keep a huge eye out for this person.
Yeah.
As she wants to deal with them personally.
Mm-hmm. I will let fucking what's his name? Our temporary hires.
Your temporary hires?
Yeah, the two people who filled in for Clarissa.
Oh, yeah.
Orton and
Catalina.
Okay.
Orton and Catalina, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just let his name. I don't have his description, but I do have his name is Bleak Ormond.
Yeah. Absolutely. Orton goes, that is definitely a fake name. But you got the description of him from Eve. So and a rough description from him actually from the assailant you captured.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, those are Orton will put his feelers out.
Okay.
However, you do also receive a different raven. And it is from the desk from it's got the seal from your husband.
Oh.
And it states that he was victorious. And he rides home with his men drunk on spoils and victory, and with the one who dared besmirch our name in chains and alive awaiting punishment.
Good. Then we can find out how he was able to be rooted in for so long.
Indeed.
Okay. Is Cassandra coming to the wedding with Garrick?
So
Or do we know for sure now?
So unfortunately, Garrick cannot come.
Okay.
As neither can Richard.
Okay.
Cassandra has basically said, like, I'm coming for sure.
Mhm.
And my ladies and stuff were for sure coming, but Richard and Garrick will be on a. But basically, she's like, Richard has this family tradition, and him and Garrick are off doing that.
Okay. Well then I will X the plan of like having Lady Primaris bring her daughter so they can be introduced for the first time then.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you won't advocate for that to happen, as unfortunately Garrick cannot come.
Gotcha.
As apparently they have some kind of thing going on. But Cassandra, it will definitely be there. Cassandra definitely feels a little like, listen, it's really important to him, but I don't really get it. But it's just like men. Yeah, exactly. But Clarissa.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Clarissa. You have been for a number of months, nearly a year actually, been on your now fully finished lands. With your son. Yeah. Who is nearly has been alive a bit. He's nearly 2. And you were told by your nursemaid, like, he'll probably start walking a little after 2, but literally barely a year into his life, he's already walking. Your son seems to have very strong legs, which has made your stress levels grow very quickly, seeing as he can now just get so many places. He can climb stairs now. He's just like, he's a curious. He is a very curious baby. He tries to get everywhere. He's a climber. He definitely goes into the dog pens all the time. All the time. They love him and he loves them. But he is a runner. So Clarissa, why don't you remind everyone your son's name? And your son has like grown hair now and stuff. Why don't you describe your baby boy?
Yeah, so Calum is his name, and he, as his hair has grown out, it's become clearer and clearer that the red hair he was born with is going to stay. And it's also going to have a lot of curl, which was kind of a surprise. Clarissa grew out of it really quickly when she was young, so yeah, that's the way it is. But he has Jaren's gray eyes, and probably a lot like Jaren, and very much not like Clarissa. He has tanner skin, spends a lot of time, like you said, with the dogs outside, so he's a lot more socialized than Clary ever was. That's
yeah, he seems like a very, very curious young man, very happy to see anyone. He climbs all the time. I got to the point where like late at night, he'll just like come up to you and just climb up into your lap in whatever you're doing, and then just like sit looking at what you're doing and just be like, and just essentially pretend to be like, yep, I'm doing stuff too.
As she moves a crazy witchy wooden finger out of the way, just like, I'll put that.
Yeah. Very much so. Yeah, so and for a good half of a lot of this, you were with Jaren. You kind of lived in this large house while your hall was being finished. Very recently, just before Jaren left for war, the hall was finished. And Clarissa, you are the head of a household now. you have servants. And you have farms folk on your land who are growing food, and a dog farm, and like guards. What have you been doing with it?
Yeah, I feel like Clarissa has always had an idea for how
Mhm.
like a house should be run, and as soon as she gets into it, she's like, "Well, no, clearly fuck all that because that's never going to work," and becomes way more practical about a lot of things.
Mhm.
But she's definitely been focusing on making sure that everything works and is exactly in place for when Jaren gets back, because she knows she's going to be busy, very busy.
Mhm. Yes. So you have your head of house staff, essentially, is a very matronly woman, named she I think she is Mrs. Claremont. Matron Claremont is technically her title. Which she's very I think your guys' beginning relationship was a little rocky because she obviously wanted to impress you, and when you started to do a lot of things on your own, she was like, no, we have people for that. No, we're gonna get the servant, and the servant's gonna go and do that, and you're just going to sit there and eat this tart because you're a lady. And because and then at first you were very resistant to that, and I think Miss Claremont, I think you probably have had a talk where she's like, if you do everything, then we can do nothing, and that's all we want to do. with like basically you need to meet us halfway.
Yeah, I feel like that if you do everything, we do nothing. She's like, okay, yeah, no, fair. Fair. Been in this position before, understood.
She's like, and it's not out of control. It's like, we want to do this. This is our purpose. And if we aren't doing our purpose, we're terrified, and we can't, feed our families. But yeah, she is also, when you need some time alone, she's amazing with Caleb. Her like very stern matron appearance, the moment Caleb, she's like, hello, my young lord, and just like immediately pure affection and love. And then like she's like, oh, aren't you a little like sleepy today? Like just like, Belinda, if you drop another glass, I will beat you with the switch. Like, my sweet young lord. Puts him down for a nap. Like,
very good.
Yeah,
that's
just
the reason we hired her. Yeah.
Yes. She's very good at what she does. But yeah, no, you've gotten to know some members of your staff that you essentially picked. You have a few household guard, and it is very strange because you have a hall. You literally have like a Mott and Bailey. You have a walled area where you have like your little settlement where everything's grown and moved, and and people live, and then a bridge, and then a moat that is like handmade, and a little Bailey, which is an annual mound, and then a keep, like a little mini keep, essentially, where you live. You have a room that is the main room. How do you feel about that? That
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
look
it's
out over a balcony from the top of a hall, and look over it.
Yeah, I don't think Clary realizes this about, but like looking out from above, Clary's treating it very much as temporary because she knows she's going to have to go back eventually.
Yeah.
She knows that there's a ton of unfinished business. So she's not settling. She's doing what is asked of her from her staff. She's pretending to be a lady, and then at night she's in the books 100% of the time. She barely sleeps still. Like nothing has really changed except for a location, and I think it's messing with her a lot, and her functionality, and her ability to like comprehend what's happening, and that she even was married 3 years ago now.
Yep. Yeah. I think you definitely got a lot more sleep when Jaren was there, because he basically forced you to sleep. He's just like, nope, we're done with this now. We're moving this away. Just like picking you up, putting you in bed, and like, and good night. I mean, after maybe some stuff, but like,
Grabs a pillow just in case.
Yeah.
yeah,
I will strangle you to sleep. Thank you.
yeah, essentially.
I will smother you.
Yeah, and it is really nice, those moments that feel like a dream when you wake up in his arms and the sun's coming in and you're looking at him, and then you feel this weird tugging at your feet as a little baby just like gets up onto you and just gets in between you.
Yeah, it's definitely a utopia that she is convinced is not real and
Yep.
will not be here very soon.
Birch you've never seen Birch happier than he has been here, as there is so much more room to run around, that he isn't stuck in the castle all the time. There's all these other dogs that he's sort of like taken control of very easily. He's very much a good example as you were training like battle dogs and guard dogs and things like that. But it has been some time since you saw your husband. May I briefly ask, did you guys name your hall? What's the name of your hall?
So. I
Well,
honestly don't.
What is it, Bailey?
Oh God. All of our halls have such extravagant names. There's a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, it's whatever you want. It's your hall.
We'll call it Melody Hall. That's the name of Jaren's dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it Melody Hall.
Melody Hall. I love it. Let it be in the House Birch song 100 generations. Excellent. Melody Hall.
Let that be known.
So it has been a few months since you've seen your husband. And you know he is off doing a super important thing. Not just for the house, but for the house. Have you been worried at all?
Very. Yeah, I think that's like probably 50% of her sleepless nights is like not only self-induced, but also just she can't sleep.
Absolutely. This like mid-afternoon, it's probably like noonish. What do we see you doing?
Probably if it's like mid-afternoon, they've probably just finished breakfast basically, because they're playing their role. But she's probably out with Caleb and the dogs, and she's running training loops and things like that, but mostly they're just playing with the dogs.
Yep. So as you're out there playing with the dogs and you're kind of like not holding Caleb, but doing that thing like, oh, he'll be fine. As long as I'm just this close.
Yeah. Yep.
And you see him just go up and
We
the
have a
puppies
helicopter,
just start,
Mom.
yeah, and the puppies just go up and start licking him, and he does that giggle that you would kill 1,000 men to hear again. It's just this very high-pitched gurgling giggle. And he talks to the dogs. He can't talk yet, but he talks to the dog. He's like, he's a talker, he's a walker, and he's very confident in his steps. And if he falls, he just like laughs and then gets back up. Like he's very much like, he is a very happy, active, curious baby. You have not seen him like, he cries very rarely. And as you're kind of playing with him and looking over the dogs, you hear someone blow a trumpet. And you hear, open the gates! And the gates are going to be opening, and some people begin rushing, and a voice calls out, says, the Lord has returned!
Yeah,
and
I feel like she automatically scoops up Caleb and like is talking to him very excitedly and calls for Birch to come as they go to meet him.
He comes. Yeah, he's just dancing around. You go out, some of the other people kind of call out, and riding into the hall, and people go, it's the Jaren! Jaren has returned! And you see Jaren on astride his white horse coming back, and there are a cart behind him full of stuff, like loot and treasure, essentially, it looks like. And he rides in, and his armor is covered in stuff. There's blood and mud and all kinds of stuff. It looks like he didn't rest a whole ton after the battle ended and getting home. You see him just pull his helmet off, and you see like a fresh scar on his cheek and dirt on his face, essentially, and him just kind of look around and see you. And he gets off his horse. Many people are like, "Welcome home, like Sojourn. Welcome home, Sojourn." And he just nods and hands his horse's reins off to. Whoop.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, Serena is now in power once again.
Where's
And
Bruce?
she's
Serena,
now
so
out
you
of
just,
power.
Serena, you describe the romantic reunion real quick. You know?
I got that.
Okay.
An arrow comes out of nowhere made out of weirlights.
Oh!
That's right.
Oh man.
Oh,
Makes
Sweater's
sense.
Yeah.
just matting in the hair.
Jaren immediately comes up to you, Clarissa, and he just like stops in front of you and just like looks at you, not saying anything, and then he just goes in to kiss you, very passionately. He lifts you up in it and then kind of puts you down because you're holding
I have
Caleb.
a child.
You have a child. And then he looks like over and he just pats his head and he goes, "Caleb." And he just puts his hands on Jaren's face and he goes, "Daddy." Which are his first words, by the way.
Holy shit. Oh.
And he goes, "She's talking."
You will be thrilled to know that was the first.
And he just like takes Caleb out of your arms and just like hugs him to you, but then like gets your arm and he goes, "I'm so happy to see you. Come, let's go to the keep." And he immediately turns back. He goes, "Bring me my the satchel." And goes, "Of course, like Sojourn." And he's smiling and he's just like, "Please tell me what I've missed, just about the dogs and the keep and how are you?" And you see he's just very kind of quickly moving you back to the keep.
Yep, of course, my love.
he's gonna go put you to sleep.
He's like, no. Yeah, she'll tell him everything, every update she has.
So you guys kind of get back to your keep. He goes to the bedroom, which you have like tables and stuff in there, and he's just like, you hear Miss Claremont, like Matron Claremont, immediately being like, "We'll get the food ready," and just like, immediately just get some food and water for your lord. And as you come in, man hands him his horse satchel and he thanks them and swings it his shoulder. He kind of makes sure you sit down and he just puts Caleb on his lap and bounces him a little bit, and Caleb just like he's having a good time. And he goes, "Before too much more, I know what you're thinking." And he opens up the satchel and he puts the Book of Asterwood onto the table. He goes, "I got it."
I'll let you know something very quickly. It wasn't what I was thinking. I was more curious about your scar, but thank you so much.
I understand the and he kind of flexes his back, like he winces a bit as if there's some injury on his back. He goes, "It's quite all right. I know it was really important to you, so it was very important to me as well."
It is. It's one of the most important things in my life, and you are one of the other ones, and Caleb is one of the other ones. So if you're hurt, we need to take care of that.
I mean, it was patched.
Patched by who?
A camp healer.
Fair
Do you want to look
I'm
at
on
his
my
back?
way.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
No,
want-
she automatically starts just like she.
he
got
like
it.
tries to move, but he can't. He tries to like block it, but he's like, "Ugh." And there's already red on his shirt. It looks like it's opened back up.
Did you wait at all? Did you do anything that they told you to?
I got the spoils that were mine. I waited for that. And then I left.
Okay. Okay.
As soon as
We-
my lord released me.
Yes. I am no help with this. I can do very basic things, but
Yeah, I mean,
need
you
to
have
see-
people that can help.
Yes, I will say whatever person I need to. You need to see them and
Mhm.
get it fixed.
Yeah, I'll go get it patched. I took
What
an
happened?
arrow.
Obviously, you were victorious.
Your crossbowman had your in the inner hall had your father in his sights, and they sort of moved in the way.
She gives him a kiss on the scar on his cheek. You're incredibly
Just-
stupid, but thank you.
My arm is thick. Just it barely got in.
And my father is old, and you are my husband.
Yes,
These
of
are
course.
the facts.
Yes, I understand. It reflex.
Mm.
I will attempt to break it for Calum for you.
You should.
This came from the woman holding this book. Touches the scar on his cheek.
The woman.
He nods. The woman. A woman with deranged gray hair and ritual scarring all over her face. She had no tongue.
What? No.
She
tongue?
had no tongue. And she held on to this book as if it was her baby.
We knew that Flint wasn't smart enough to know what the book was, or would even care enough. So there had to be someone, but that's...
I think this woman might probably be more aware of what's in this book, but this woman was deranged. I doubt she had any form of plan other than the knowledge on how to read it and use it. We captured Flint. Lord Tedric captured him alive. Surprised, but he seemed to want him.
Impressive for Lord Tedric.
Yeah, it's true. Like,
Incredibly
usually,
restrained.
yes, he was quite. Also, but there's another thing. I think they did something to him.
To Flint?
When we found Flint and I dragged him across his horse, he had been impaled on Reaper through the chest, out through his back.
Did you
wasn't
just say he was alive?
I did, and he is. He's not bleeding much. And he was unconscious when I grabbed him, but after he woke up in chains, he's just laughing. There was something on him. Cedric managed to grab it. He didn't show me, but I'm sure he'll show you soon. He was wearing something. But I don't know what happened to him, but something was done to Flint because he should be dead, and he is still alive. It is unnerving the men. Cedric had them put a very large shirt on him so no one can see it. But shrug. They were doing something in there. They had all these women in cages. And at first we thought for other reasons, but I think they were doing something to them. They were injured they had cuts on them. Some of them were sick. With I don't know what kind of illness. I mean, I wouldn't know anyway, but it's strange. The dungeons down there looked like something I've never seen in my life. Lord Tedric never saw. He was too injured to go into the keep after he beat Flint and declared victory. But Cedric and your father and I saw, so, and our men, unfortunately. But among most of the commanders, it's not quite out, and most of the men are just talking about Lord Tedric did some pretty impressive things. I hear, but
It's good.
we did our best, but
Sounds like you did more than enough. That's horrifying.
yeah, I had to. She wouldn't let it go, and I had to kill her. But she didn't stop fighting, even with a sword through her throat. She's dead now, but it's what she gave me this.
Okay, I'm going to go a letter and send a raven, and you are going to go see a healer and do as they say. Also send Calum to
Mhm.
Mage Claremont.
Okay,
I'll join
but
you shortly.
but my love, and he just like takes your hand for a second, and he goes, with the new spoils we've gained, I was thinking we could afford a maester. Would you like a maester?
I would like a maester very much. I should like a maester.
like,
Yes.
like, then I'll send a raven.
You are so good. So good.
He smiles and goes, well, you inspire me.
Gross.
She
She
Thank
needs
you.
to go write her letter.
He goes, I think he goes very gross, and then just like begins kissing your cheek a lot. Yeah, so he will go to get healed, and he'll hand Calum off. But yes, who do you write your letter to?
I write my letter to Thorsten.
Okay,
Who is here, but that's okay.
that's okay. But what do you put in your letter?
She, in very incredibly vague terms,
Sure.
says the item has been retrieved. We are in possession of it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as though you are going to have your hands incredibly full with Flint. Would you like help?
Absolutely. So, yeah. So you do know that it is probably in a short time for you to go back, especially to help with the wedding. The wedding. So, let's briefly cut back to Theolden Hall, where Vivian and Henrik currently are. I believe at this point, Vivian and Henrik, you are currently Vivian, you're currently taking tea. As you deserve it, as it is your tea time. You're currently taking tea. Henrik, what are you doing right now?
If it's in the middle of the day, I think I'm like out and about, probably like checking up on the land's local area. You know, oh my god, just make sure everything's okay.
Okay, cool. So you get back from that ride into Theolden Hall. And as you get back, there's a trumpeting sound. And there's calls out. Vivian, you hear a trumpet. And you hear, and Henrik, you hear, the Lord has returned, and like people are beginning to open the gates. And Vivian, Catalina comes into the room and goes, Vivian, your lord husband has returned.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I'll just immediately go out to meet him.
Excellent. Do you go with Eric?
I head down as well,
course.
by the way.
Of course I do, because, I mean, did I give birth to Eric while Tidrick was gone? Or...
No.
Okay.
Tidrick was, but he has not seen Eric in quite a long time.
Okay, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
actually...
And while you're taking tea, Eric was in the room with you per
Okay.
your request, due to the now intense baby napping paranoia.
Yep. And I'll hold Eric. Like, this will be the first time I held my babies pre them to being toddlers.
All right. So, you go out. Henrik, what are you doing knowing your father is returning victorious from battle?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I am waiting outside, I guess, for the rest of my family, and like kind of nervous because I don't know like what has happened. Obviously, he's been successful. You know, if he's coming back, woo. But thanks. Yeah, I think I'm mentally freaking out and like preparing like a list in my head of like stuff that's gone bad, but then also how it's like fixed it and everything. Like, okay, like, you know, house is on fire. Like a kid panicking after his parents have been gone for like 2 weekends. Like, oh shit.
Absolutely. So riding through the doors, there are several like the Red Cavalry kind of run through with banners. People are cheering. There was lots of small folk, Tidrick, that you saw on the way. And even though you have been informed that you need to like rest in a carriage, my guess is you want to show a good showing. So you're probably on your horse in armor.
On my horse in my armor.
Helmet off, I'm guessing.
Helmet off. And a little bit of patchwork. Like I have like one of my tabards going over or whatever as like
absolutely
to cover the hole. And my arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably still positioned like this.
Yeah, you passed many small folk who were cheering, and as you wave to them, and so Vivian, Henrik, you see all these cavalrymen come in, kind of make a line, and then behind them you see Tidrick on his great black and white steed in his armor, looking a little haggard and battle worn, but triumphant nonetheless. Looking very regal as he comes in. Tidrick, you come fully in. Your horse is stopped. Men take it. You are helped off of it as you feel like as you kind of because you are very wounded.
Yeah, very wounded. Yeah,
and
very much pain.
But you see many of your family. You see your son and your wife and your youngest son there.
And your brother.
Thorsten, you came out of the dungeon? Good.
I heard the horns. I immediately came up because
good.
I know somebody needs help.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I was worried you would just be stuck in the dungeon.
The snake pit's covered up everything, right? Like
that's underground now. Like, yeah. That's
good. I would have made sure like all spooky stuff has been hidden.
Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, Thorsten, you get there, you blear your eyes at sunlight. You're like, but yeah, you see your brother, Tidrick.
He's paler, even though I never thought that was possible.
It's true. And you come up. So what do you do, Tidrick, as you come up?
I steady myself before and I start to move, and I walk up, arms still covered in like partial cape, and approach my family. I look at each one of them in turn. Starting with Thorsten, then Henrik, then my wife, and then the babe. Each one I give a nod to Henrik, noting that the place has not fallen down.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Nod. Yes.
We haven't been taken over while I was away. And I will approach my wife and reach out my right arm to take her hand, bring it to my mouth, give it a kiss. The days have been too long without you, my dear.
Welcome home, my love.
And you hear like a gurgle from little Eric.
My boy. I will pick him up with, obviously, only using my right arm.
Yep. You're more than strong enough. It's not even...
Yeah. It's just awkward movement. Gesture him on my hand and hold him. Give him a kiss on the top of his head. And okay, so what has happened in my absence?
Well,
I mean, Vivian, you have much to tell your husband.
Yes. Well, perhaps we should go inside, allow the men to rejoice in the victory that was brought back to the Redlands.
Thorsten, can you make a healing diagnosis test for me?
I was just about to whisper you that.
Your brother is heavily injured.
Yes. I immediately follow suit.
Yep, you're like, don't show it in front of everyone, but once you get inside,
I will
I'm going to
hand the
scold
baby
him as
back
soon as we're alone.
to Vivian, and I will turn back, raise my hand to my men, and just, cheer out.
Yep, they just and you definitely see before you go inside, you do see Vivian like some wagons of like silver and gold kind of being moved in. But you also see a carriage with a full iron cage and a bald man strung up with chains on his knees inside of it, head fully down. That must be the lout who's caused all this problem.
Good.
Yeah, you do see him wheeled inside.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you have a moment to yourselves, Thorsten.
Well, I immediately scold him for not taking care of himself.
Not taking care of myself. Do you realize what I've been through, brother?
You decided to ride in on a horse when you shouldn't have? That's not taking care of yourself.
Well, let's see you jump off a second story of a building and be fine.
That's not my job.
Vivian, you're in the room, by the way. You're just like, you're like, what? You're doing what?
I had to retrieve my sword.
I had to.
Well, now
I
I see
immediately tell you to sit down.
Now I see where Garrick gets it from.
I point to where you're going to sit while I work on you, and you're talking.
But yes, Henrik, Vivian, you're all here and here for this. Orton has come in as well, just kind of nodding to everyone. Your armor is quickly removed from you, and yeah, you all see like a full. I mean, Thorsten, you see a very nasty through and through. Some of his muscles have been cut. Like this is a very serious wound.
I immediately give him milk of the poppy, just a sip, just to help him. I don't care.
Yep. You're like,
this is my job. I supersede everything.
I take half of it.
No, I forced the full sip for you.
Indeed. Get that full sip. Thorsten, why don't you give me a healing test?
A treat injury?
Yes, this would be a treat injury.
I'm going to use my lucky and re-roll that.
Very well. That's a lot better. Yeah, you immediately... how many injuries did you have, Tiedrick?
1.
Cool. The injury is immediately removed. You set his arm better, essentially. He just needs some more bed rest. And then you begin to treat the wound, but he's going to be on his... Your dumb older brother needs to be on his ass for at least a minimum of a week for this not to get worse. You know he was definitely told that at the battlefield a while ago, but he has not done that.
No.
Which you get, he's the leader of men and la la la. But
here's the thing, is he's going to be heavily medicated the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Henrik's a big boy.
Also, I will regale them with, from start to finish, the story of the battle.
Yeah, so Henrik, you get to hear a new war story from your dad. And like he talks about the part where he like swung off a thing and battling like how do you feel about that, Henrik?
I'm just like in belief looking at my father. Like I knew he was a good fighter. I've seen him before, but like
I
think
would
there's
assume
some
that you know
sort of
how sometimes
disconnect.
I embellish. I bet you believe this is an embellishment.
Yeah, for sure. Like father, yes, of course you very strong. Of course you jumped off a 2-story building. Of course.
Indeed. Yeah, so regales him with that amazing story. But yeah, loot is gained. Vivian, you tell Vivian and of course Orton about like the adding to the coffers. And Vivian, you're just like, more money.
Yes, more money.
Yes.
This wedding's gonna be expensive. So good.
I mean, you're not paying for it, so
That's so true. But now we have to save up for this. Like, if this is the thing, they're gonna set a standards. Like, this is what I mean. But did you see the Ashford and Weirlight wedding? And then so when my daughter gets married, I'm like, I'm not gonna have the Ashfords one up me. So,
we need to save up all the money for Mario's wedding.
we want a wedding with our own other wedding.
She's gonna spend like 15 wealth on her wedding.
I love it.
If I want a star pulled out of the sky, someone needs to make it fucking happen.
I think.
God damn
I think what will assist
Cut
and
to
it's like
Clarissa.
gauge how much like extra money she spends is like who's the groom.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you are regaled with that story, Vivian. It sounds very heroic. Also, like you're just jumping off of stuff, huh?
Just jumping off of buildings. All right.
Okay.
That's where Garrett gets it.
We only have 7 children between us, and just gonna jump off buildings. All right.
Indeed, but
The
apparently,
heat of the moment,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll just tell them of what happened at Crake Hall, as well as mentioning to them, and just also that I will have to mention Clarissa that once again the Tullisons were wrapped up in a conspiracy with possibly a member from the Iron Isles again. But just keeping them up to date about that. I'll also tell them that one of the Tybalt's second daughter seemed to have an interest in Darren, so that's a possible union there. And
Tedric, you're like you do know like the Craycalls are damn good fighters.
Yes, those Craycalls are damn good fighters, I must say.
Yeah.
Did you do something to that sip of milk with a poppy?
Yes, it's actually called relaxing and resting now.
Oh, I also don't know if Tedric knows, but I'll remind him also for Jesse's sake that most of the minor houses are now our friends. There was a luncheon. Well, I believe you were gone.
Yes, he was gone while this happened.
So
yeah, Vivian did some high diplomacy.
I'm also going to whisper into Tedric's ear, if he doesn't take it easy, he's getting 2 sips next time.
Wonderful, my dear. One of the many reasons I fell for you.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
One of the many!
Henrik, your parents are flirting again.
Prepare for baby number 8.
Mom said she was done at 7. This better be fucking it, okay?
She said she's done after every baby.
That's very true. Vivian was like, as long as I can have at least one baby, I'll be done. It doesn't even matter. Cut to 7 babies later. Just like... So, Tedric, do you have anything to say to your son? Ask him or anything like that?
So, how was your first run as Lord of the Keep?
Not as easy as I thought, especially with the extra guests here that I did not plan for. But I think I managed everything all right, and
extra guests.
Plants have been flourishing as usual. I'm glad to see you safely returned home, Father. That's the success.
You said extra guests?
I tell him about Ashlyn.
Yes, Orden confirms, I guess. Ashlyn Ashford, the heir of the Ashford, is here overseeing the wedding preparations.
Oh.
He is more than thrilled to add his opinion to the wedding instructions in the hall. He is less so thrilled, seemingly, about his upcoming brother-in-law. However, he has not caused any trouble.
Able to stand being
When is
together.
their wedding date again?
When is our wedding date? Well, I guess we're
Give off, just give off the date.
We're keeping this vague.
In the future.
Okay, is it beyond
Yes.
time
Couple
I would
months.
need to
Well, Father of
They-
Course,
oh,
waiting
the
until,
wed- the
until
wedding-
your safe return.
The
Yes.
wedding will definitely be after you're already fully healed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you're safe and back
Hopefully
home.
fully healed.
Yeah.
Well,
He
seeming
seems
as
to
he-
be he seems to be here to assure that their money is being well spent.
course.
He has yet to actually disagree on anything, but his presence has been felt.
Well, are we in need to
I did not mean to click
pacify
that.
him, or do you think he's all right for now?
He seems all right for now. He just wants to be informed. He's come up with several ideas himself. He just
Are they any good?
Not bad. More extravagant actually than the some initial ideas. Actually, it seems.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes, he is
given that it's-
securing. Yes, securing that the Ashford.
Which family's paying for the wedding?
Exactly.
You're back.
You also know that he goes, well, also it is clear that Ashlyn obviously wished this wedding to be in Ashford lands, but do have husband rights to have it here, and he obviously is less than thrilled about that. But he has not been antagonistic towards anyone, save of course his future brother-in-law.
Well, given that he hasn't challenged you to a duel, you seem to be handling it wonderfully, as far as I can tell.
That was my first worry. Yes.
Are both still alive and are even able to be in the same room as each other for a little while. So I think that's progress.
It's seemingly there has been some form of understanding made between them. But I do not. I noticed. But yes, I don't think it's going to be a problem, my lady. Your son seems to have handled it.
I had no doubt.
Of course. He looks at Henrik. Of course.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's no other news of stuff that's happened when I was away,
Nope.
I say we get on to the coming home feast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is
Victory
that a
feast.
thing?
A victory feast. Absolutely.
Woo!
Yes, 100% a victory feast.
You might be a little loopy on Poppy, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes it all the better.
Tries to get up and move away from his brother.
Just put
Well,
my
Right now,
hand
he's
in
probably,
towards the
right now
hall for
Thorson's
feasting.
probably faster than you.
Usually, yeah, you take him to his bed at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goes, yes, well,
feast.
and
The feast.
Orton goes like, I'll talk to Catalina about the victory feast. You will have a lovely meal tonight, my lord, and we'll have the feast the moment the maester says you are able to come down. There is quite a lot of stairs.
And I will call out, make sure Kyle gets cleaned up.
Of course, my lord. What? Okay, yes, of course, my lord. I'll go look into that. Just like, what happened to Kyle?
Kyle!
After Thorsten walks out of Tiedric's room, he's
Mhm.
going to let the guards who are more than likely stationed out there, if he leaves, you come get me immediately.
Like, of course, Maester. They you have said this to them so many times. Like,
Oh, they know.
over the years. Like, they know. Like,
Climbing out the window.
Okay, Bran.
I must be seen by my people.
With one good arm.
It's more a slide fall,
I
but
mean-
still.
Just put one of his daughters in his lap. That'll get him to sit for at least an hour.
Yeah, you got three of them.
Listen,
so.
if you give him Eric, he's just gonna be like, my boy. It's just... Yep.
Proof of
Eric-
my current virility.
I will say, unlike Calum, Eric is a very quiet baby. He hasn't started walking yet. He doesn't make a ton of noise. He does cry every so often. He seems like very sensitive to light. Anytime he's outside, he kind of like squints and kind of makes like noises. But it's not as bad, but very much bad in the morning. Like first thing in the morning, any sunlight comes near him, he just starts crying. Later in the day, he's better with it. But Eric, unlike Garrick or Henrik or any of your two other boys, Eric is very quiet. He doesn't make a lot of noises. He just does that baby breathing thing. Just like that's it. And if he does make noise, usually it's a cry. And he almost never stares at anyone in the eyes. He like maybe catches attention for a half a second and then be like, just he's more interested in other things.
I'm gonna make you all big and strong.
Make you big and strong. He's just like, just all right.
He's gonna be a maester.
Yeah, Maester B.
Apparently, our bloodline does make good maesters.
With many of the people home, we will take our break here, and when we come back, time will have passed, and it will be time for the start of the wedding.
Oh my god!
Dun, dun.
All right, so don't go anywhere.
I have to
We'll
find
be
my
right
my
back.
party dress.
Yeah, I haven't. Oh, damn, I'm dressed for this. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Anyways, we will see you after a short break. Bye.
Yes. Bathroom, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.